Power on. Oh, looks like. Oh, there we go. Got sound. All right. Got kind of a mess going on here on the bench. Got a lot of things going on. All right. We got on the bench now a 13-inch MacBook Pro. It's non-touch bar. It's the non-touch bar model. So I think this is the A1708. All right, and the problem is it has suffered a liquid spill, coffee, I believe it was, and therefore no power. So I'm hoping this is not a quick diagnosis. We have not been authorized to repair this device yet. Typically, the way we work is we'll do a free diagnosis and estimate. We'll submit that to the customer, and if they choose to accept our quote, then we will go ahead and proceed with the repair if it's repairable. So what we're doing in this video is we're doing the preliminary diagnostic. So, I kind of know what to look for to see if this device will be repairable or not, since it is liquid damaged. And this is a A1708. We worry about liquid entering in and making contact with the connector that connects the LCD from the logic board to the board that's on the LCD screen. There are two power rail pins that are close to each other. One's for backlight, which is high voltage, and then CPU. I think the CPU or PB bus. I have to look at the schematic. They're right next. The pins are right next to each other, and if you get liquid, if they short, and you get a short on those, and that shorts that out, there's the potential for it to send a bunch of voltage to the CPU and kill it, which would make this non-repairable. So we like to pull the bottom off and check that cable first. I didn't power this board on at all. I'm not going to turn it on since it's had coffee spilled on it. And this is, even though it's a non-touch bar, it's still a newer MacBook Pro. So, and if something has had minor liquid damage, we won't power, or we'll sometimes power it on. We just kind of use our judgment. But since we've talked to a customer and we know this was a recent spill, we're not going to power it up until we pull the bottom off and we determine that it's safe to do so. Usually when we have a no power situation and we kind of know that there hasn't been liquid damage, which you can't tell on this computer because it looks like they wiped it off pretty well and cleaned it, but they said they spilled coffee on it, so we want to be careful. And yeah, well, my little sticky note's got stuff written on it, but it doesn't matter because there's no names or anything like that. So this is a 2016 non-touch bar, so it's a 1708. I believe it's 2016, so the logic board number will be A20000840. So we'll pull up the schematic for that real quick. Let's see, 1708. A200840. Pull up our board view and schematic. Alright, we're going to look at our LCD connector. I forgot which pins it actually is. looking over, there's a lot of CPU config. Oh wait, that's the JTAG, I believe. I'm looking at the wrong connector. There we go. I was looking at the wrong connector. It's got MIPI clock, cam, EDP. PP3v3 SO switch LCD is way over there. T-Con backlight PWM. Looking for. I don't see the two pins that are right next to each other. Anyway, for the sake of wasting a bunch of time, we'll go ahead and pop this board out, or pop the bottom off the cover and see what we find. See if we find some damage. Okay. I'm gonna look at my repair ticket, see what slot that I'm putting this in. Looks like slots. Tickets. Come on. Want to make this quick diagnosis? 741. 1741. Yep, so slot 2. So I'll grab my box for slot 2. Let's make sure and keep the screws together. Don't want to mix up our screws with other computers. Yeah, I think coffee was spilled on this, so not a good thing. And it definitely feels like somebody's been in here. These screws are pretty loose. Yeah, they're not even tightened down, so I know someone's been in here. It might have been my customer. They might have opened it up to look. Could be the owner, I don't know, but we'll take a look and see. Suction cup here. Seems like most of the computers I've repaired lately are liquid damaged. Come on. Oh man, that is stuck. Of course, I'm doing a video, so this is like, there we go. Jeez. Did you go back down? Oh, like normally it's not this hard. Can't get my fingers under there. Jeez. Dang bottom cover off this stinking thing. Oh yeah. Whew. Yeah, it smells like coffee big time. Yep. She's coffee damaged for sure. Yeah, you can see it's liquid damaged. It smells like coffee. So the first thing we're going to do is unplug the battery, because we don't want power going to this board after it's had liquid spilled in it. First thing we need to do is disconnect the power off of this. Alright. Yeah. Disconnect power. Any power going to the board. And dry things off here. Alright. And now we know how much of a pain it is to take these computers apart. So we're going to go ahead and pull the logic board out. Starting with the LCD. Right here, this connector. This connector right down here. We're going to go ahead and take that off and make sure there's no liquid touching pins in there, because if there isn't, I pretty much guarantee it's game over. But let's not count our chickens first. Wow. Nope, no liquid on the LCD connector. Not a drop, it looks like. Nope, nothing. Yeah, it looks clean as a whistle. The other side that's connected to the logic board could be a different story, though. So, well, not unfortunately, but looks like we're gonna have to take this board completely out of this computer. Which, if you've watched my other video, you have seen me take another late model MacBook Pro apart, and there's about 25 screws you got to take out. I'm willing to bet there's liquid damage on the other side of the board, because I mean, it just pulled up the CPU heatsink and there's like liquid splattering everywhere. Oh, I should put that on the other side, but that's okay. So in this removal process, we need 3 different screwdrivers. We need a T4, a T5, and a T3. I love having these little organizers. This is actually my wife's idea. It's a great idea to have these little organizer bins, because then you can keep track of screws, and I don't have to sit and think about what screws go where. I can just look, and I know by how many screws that I see what they go with. So, you know, if this repair is a bit of an emergency, because it belongs to somebody who's in college and they need it for school. So it's kind of a emergency repair. So we'll see what we can do to help them out with that. Okay, so that's that. Now we just need unhook some speaker flexes. Left speaker flex. There's a liquid damage indicator over here that's tripped, so yep, I'm willing to bet there's some sort of damage on the other side of the board. Boom, boom, boom. Let's unhook our Wi-Fi antennas. We should be good to come out, I believe. I'm going to go after that LCD connector still and make sure that it isn't damaged on the other side. Gently pull our board out here. Am I missing something? What am I missing? Oh, nothing. Okay. Yep, we just got a little bit of liquid damage here. Smells like dark roast. So this is, we see one little spot over here with liquid damage. Next to, I have to look at the schematic and see what chip that is. Go ahead and move the rest of the computer out of the way here. Check out our schematic. Like I said, we're not authorized to repair this machine just yet. Oh man. That's not good. I hope there's no corrosion under that chip. Let me move my PDF over to this other screen here. So we have liquid next to our, bear with me, I don't have a mouse hooked up right now. Oh, this is annoying. So that's a power control IC. So PMIC and power control. We had a little bit of liquid next to that. Yeah, so we have some damage there. We have a couple of caps that have coffee on them. Go ahead and have a look around. If that PMIC is messed up, then that's going to be interesting to repair, if it's repairable. I see no liquid on the LCD connector, so I'm not worried about that really. It's just this PMIC. There's a couple of caps next to it. So if I look at the board view, so we're facing this way. There's 6 capacitors. No, PP bus PMIC. Okay. And those looks like those are power that go to that PMIC chip. We'll clean it with alcohol a little bit, and then we'll check it, see if it's shorted to ground. So I have a feeling if that PMIC is toast. I'm not sure. We can save this board. That's just the unfortunate reality of spilling liquids on electronics. So we'll put that in the notes, and that the liquid on the contact on the logic board was next to the PMIC only. Since I just cleaned it, kind of cleaned away my hints. Just a little bit. We're going to look around. And the unfortunate thing is I'm gonna have to power this board up so I can see if it's got any signs of life at all. I mean, I'm not gonna just blindly replace the PMIC and hope that it fixes it. Because I don't even know if the PMIC is broken or not. One of those caps could just be shorted. Or it could still work. I mean, he could have killed the screen or something. Who knows? But let's look on the other side here. Yeah. Got a little bit of liquid next to our speaker connector, and that liquid damage indicator is tripped. Got a little liquid over here by this chip. I have to look it up to see what it is, but it's slightly corroded. So there's just a couple tiny little spots of liquid. Uh-oh. Yeah. That's what I don't want to see. And since this has a removable SSD just for safety, I'm going to go ahead and pull the SSD off. Because I'm seeing a little bit of liquid next to the CPU, and I don't like that. I don't like seeing these coffee spots next to my CPU. And I don't know that liquid got under there. But I don't like that, what I'm seeing. And I can't see underneath. I mean, I guess I could remove the heatsink. Let's remove the heatsink on the CPU and see if we can see any liquid damage on the CPU or next to it. Well, there's liquid underneath these brackets. Yep, it's coffee. So that's a bad sign. That's a very bad sign. You probably can't even see what the heck I'm doing. Right now I'm pulling these metal brackets off the underside of the CPU. This metal bracket here is what's holding the heatsink on the CPU. I just lifted this one off. I just lifted this one off here, and all under here was coffee. So that is not a good sign. Not a good sign. I mean, do I dare you see the board? Uh-oh. Where'd you go? Shoot, I just dropped a screw on the floor. Yeah. Might be game over for this guy. Maybe. Maybe not. I don't know. This is full of surprises. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe not. Maybe not. Because the CPU has lots of underfill almost all the way around, or edge bonding. So, I don't know. Maybe it survived. I don't know. I'm thinking maybe I do a quick power up test. Like a really quick one. Just to see if I get any activity at all. What I'll do is pull the SSD off, so if something decides to catch fire, because I mean, who knows if this thing is dead or not. But what I'll do is as soon as I get the heat sink back on. This is a real pain. So I'll get the CPU heat sink back on, pull the SSD off, and then I'll do a quick power up and just see what it's drawing. The only thing that concerns me is the liquid next to that PMIC chip. Which is probably replaceable, but it's got 168 solder balls under it, which I mean is about like an SMC. I mean, an SMC has, or maybe an SMC has more. No, I think, does an SMC have more? I don't know. I don't know if an SMC. I think an SMC has 96 solder balls. Oh, does this have an SM? Well, yeah, it has an SMC, but U5000. So yeah, this is 168. So it's basically like reballing an SMC, which I've done many times. All right, let's check this for shorts and see if it's shorted. If this is shorted to ground. I want to check the schematic too and see what these capacitors are on, if they're actually on. C7844. Okay, that was weird. Yep, they are on the VN power rail from PPBus G3 Hot. So PPBus PMIC and PPBus G3 Hot go through C7843 and 44, and it's a VN. So VN and VN LDO3. So it could just have no power going to the PMIC, or there could have been coffee went under the PMIC and killed it. I mean, the solder balls under the PMIC look okay. They don't look too bad. Yeah, let's check for short to ground. Let's see if those because they are tied to ground, those two caps. So pin 1 on those. Go to PPBus PMIC. This could just have a PMIC short. Oops. Oops. Touching the other cap, dingo. Not short of the ground. 700K. 600K ohms. So it doesn't look like it shorted PMIC to ground. Alright, I'm going to plug it in and see what it does. Wait, unplug the SSD first, in case something catastrophic happens. Ooh! Don't stab yourself with razor sharp tweezers in the finger. Did I just puncture myself, or I don't know. Dang it. Don't slip with your tweezers. Okay. Pull the SSD out. So now 11 volts, 19 volts, 20 volts, 560 milliamps. So this board's turning on. $620, $270. So it's 19.8 volts, 270, 260 milliamps. $270, $280. Oh, CPU's cold as ice though. So we must have a short somewhere. 290. Where's my temperature gun? See what the CPU is warmth like temperature wise. Oops, the little USB-C grommets here. So it's hanging out at almost 300 milliamps. So it wants to turn on. So I don't think he killed it. It's definitely not turning on. Oh, 90 Fahrenheit, so let's see. Oh yeah, the CPU's warm. All right. Check some power rails. Here's some power rails. I could plug in, I'm going to plug in a screen too and see if get a flashing question mark folder. So we'll check like PP bus and stuff. Oops, don't test it on resistance, numbnuts. Jeez. Wow. Must be because I stabbed myself with the tweezers. Rookie maneuver. Put my multimeter over here so you can see see the results of me testing things. Can you see that? It's glary. Come on, no glare. Ooh, that's worse. What about that? Yeah, it works. All right, let's test. Yeah, 13 ones. We got PB bus. Or wait, do we? Yep. So we got PB bus, 300 milliamps. CPU's hot. .6 volts. 0.6 volts, I believe that is CPU V-core. So this board works. So, yeah, that's CPU VR switch 2. What about, so yeah, PPVCC CPU SOG phase or SOG phase 2 on the inside. Yep, 600 millivolts. Oh, 600 millivolts, so I'm pretty sure this is working. Yeah, no liquid got under the CPU, not even close. There's a couple of components that need to be fixed. Let's search this. Oh, PDF search, come on. Arr. Ugh, my PDF from my board view is moving slow. Mm. 310 milliamps. I'm gonna unplug this board and plug in a screen and see if we get screen. I mean, it could be that this thing was turning on the whole time and um, the screen might have died or something. I don't know. I never get the full story. I always get liquid damage doesn't turn on. So let's see if it turns on now. You're not going to be able to see because I had to unhook my monitor. We're just going to let it run for a few minutes and see. I had to remove my USB-C power meter because I can't plug. Oh, yeah, the screen is coming on. Let's see what we got. Just for posterity, there's a couple of things. Hey, flashing question mark folder. So the board works. Yeah, we got a flashing question mark folder. The other question is, does their SSD work? Let's hope. We'll plug that in real quick. Should be okay. Like I said, there's like 2 drips of coffee on the next to the PMIC on a couple caps, so probably end up replacing those caps because one of the end caps is corroded. I do see a couple more components down over by where there's like another empty connector slot here. There's a couple of caps there that need to be replaced. And then on the other side, there was the ones by the PMIC, and then I saw something else that'll need to be replaced. So it'll need some minor board repair. But we'll go ahead and talk to the client or the customer first, see if the owner wants to go through with it. We'll do that repair and we'll ultrasonic it and we'll clean the rest of the board out for them. Hmm. Not wanting the power on. Did I not plug things in all the way? That's the only thing about this is I have no lights. I can't see what I'm doing. I need to get one of these that's on a cable, USB-C, so I can see what it's doing. There we go. Apple logo. Okay. Phew. All right. Yep. Okay. So yeah, we have an Apple logo. I can probably pick up my. Let's see if I can pick up my computer and I'll show you. Come here, you. There you go. See? User and guest user. So it's working. So we got a working board. We just need to clean it up a little bit. And clean up the liquid spill and everything. So, yeah. Anyway, alright. Well, I'm going to go ahead and unplug this and take out the SSD again so we can protect the customer's data while we do our inspection here and see what we need to replace, and then we'll get back to the customer and let them know what the cost is to replace some stuff on the board. And we'll definitely ultrasonic the logic board so we can get every single remnant of if there's any other corrosion, if we use flux to repair anything or replace anything. So the ultrasonic will get rid of the leftover flux. It'll get rid of all the leftover coffee that was spilled on the board under any chips or anything. And so that'll make it nice and clean and safe, and then we'll also clean the inside of the computer for them. So yeah. Anyway, that's it for this repair. I may do another video here shortly on another repair that I have. It's one of my logic boards that's has no backlight on it for a MacBook Air. I'm going to do a separate video for that. So anyway, I'll probably be back in a few with another video. So I'll see you shortly.